Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about how to guess the zodiac sign Capricorn, and yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Well, anyway, people, the first thing is if you're trying to guess someone's zodiac sign, whether it's Capricorn and another one, and you're trying to guess by appearance, you have to factor in race and ethnicity into the equation, so to speak, because let's say if somebody is African American or Asian, some of this may not apply and pertain to them, as this is a general description only. So also keep in mind that if let's say you guess somebody as a Capricorn and they tell you that their sun is in a different sign, there's still a good chance you may have guessed their ascendant or moon sign, and especially ascendant, as this dominates the appearance, and a lot of the guesswork is attributed to the appearance of the person, I believe. So anyway, first thing I want to get at is, as far as guessing the zodiac sign Capricorn by appearance, well, Capricorn first can be lithe and slender in build. They often have broad shoulders, and the trunk can be long, and the arms and legs are generally, they're generally proportionate or to the height and of the person, sometimes perhaps a little bit shorter, but this is a person that, as far as the appearance goes, well, it's very interesting because Capricorns are often dark-haired, but even if the hair is light, it almost looks like it should be dark. That's an interesting thing I think about Capricorn and their appearance. Now, the face can be long with emphasized high cheekbones. The forehead can be sloping, and the eyes can often be deep set. The nose can be long, can have a point on the end of it, be pointed, I should say, and the lower lip sometimes could be protruding and making the upper lip look a lot thinner. In contrast, of course, in Capricorn and their appearance, it's interesting. It seems like it's extreme as far as the teeth go. Now, for Capricorn and teeth, they usually can be either really good or they could be really poor and decayed, degenerated or distorted or what have you. And also, the complexion for Capricorn is often a darker, swarthy type complexion to them. And another thing about Capricorn and the appearance, it seems like the hair is generally straight and it's not overly profuse. Now, Capricorn can also be very photogenic. And another thing about Capricorn is the jaw can be upturned. Now, also, they can have very good bone structure. The chin and the chest area can be narrow, and the chest is generally not very large. It's not very thick, or just it tends to be thin and somewhat flattish. So, anyway, well, as far as I think another thing I want to get at with the appearances is that in guessing the zodiac signs as far as the appearance aspect goes, that Capricorn is interesting and they're paradoxical as far as their age goes. When they're young, they often look older than their years, and a lot of this, I think there's a correlation too with Capricorn as far as their mature adult attitude in their early years. And then when you look at Capricorn, as they get older and they hit their latter years, they often have the uncanny ability to look younger than they are, and they can age really exceptionally gracefully. So it's another thing in terms of guessing a Capricorn. If you know a person when they're very young, when they're very old, or in their latter years, I should say, when they're older, that they often look and appear older than they are when they're young, and when they're older, they appear often younger than they actually do. And the hair for Capricorn, more so than the other signs, I think, on average, can get gray earlier in life. So, anyway, Now, as far as Capricorn, anything else as far as mannerisms go and trying to guess the zodiac sign Capricorn that way? Well, the obvious thing, of course, with Capricorn is that they can often have a very serious and stern expression on their face. If you're in a group and people are telling jokes, and you have a lot of people that are very lively and vivacious and whimsical, and they laugh easily at the jokes, Capricorn is the one which on average wouldn't laugh quite as heartily or may not laugh at all sometimes because their disposition is often very serious. And this is not to say that Capricorn is not capable of being jocular or jovial. Keep in mind, in a solar or natal chart, Gemini often falls on the sixth house cusp, and Gemini falls on the sixth house cusp often, and as far as the daily routine, the sixth house cusp is associated with the daily routine. So they could often incorporate humor and a whimsical side into their daily routine, but I think it takes a while for Capricorn often to show that side of others. If it's something where they're in company of people that they've had a strong rapport with and they've known for a good period, then they're more apt to show that side to others. But another thing too with Capricorn is that what can stand out, even though Capricorn is often, as I stated before, slender, lithe, and thin in terms of their build, they could often be heavy-footed and they can kind of trump when they walk. You would think that would be more Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius may do that as well, but with Capricorn it's interesting because they're not with their physique. You generally you wouldn't think that they would do that, but they can have the propensity to do that when they walk, and also the legs could be crooked on Capricorn too. So that's another thing to look at in terms of when they're walking. You might notice this in terms of trying to guess the zodiac sign. If you see somebody like that, they could be Capricorn. So those are some things to look at. Well, also too is that Capricorn can have a very good bone structure to them. That is another thing to look at. And also in guessing the zodiac sign Capricorn, it also can be a little bit authoritative. It's similar to Leo, but it's more in a very flat business-like way with Capricorn. And the Capricorn men may often take a fatherly image to people that are younger than them. Say that they're working with somebody, and say they're a Capricorn male as a manager somewhere, and let's say they have a younger person that's a subordinate worker. Well, when I worked at a health food store in New York many years ago, and the gentleman I worked with, he had his sun sign was Capricorn, and he even said that he looked upon me like a son. He had a fatherly image, and sure enough, he has his son in Capricorn. Capricorn people, males may often take that fatherly image toward people that they know that are younger than them, and they see them as a friend, but they may also look upon them as a son because their nature is to be fatherly very often. Now, another thing too is the fact that another way to identify Capricorn is that they could come across as rather undemonstrative. When you see a lot of people in a group acting emotional for some reason, they hear some bad news or something, and Capricorn is often the one that may not show that emotion. It doesn't mean they're emotionless, far from that, but they often will not show that in front of others. And the thing about Capricorn too is when you could be in a situation where a lot of people may be on, when you see a lot of people become very panic stricken or they become frazzled and flustered, Capricorn is often that person that will stay composed and keep their cool. And Capricorn is often very disciplined. So they're not ones to act unless there's a lot of premeditation beforehand. So So those are some things to look at as far as guessing the zodiac sign Capricorn. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for guessing the zodiac sign Capricorn, and stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about guessing the zodiac sign Aquarius. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel, and secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, a person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.